In this chapter, we'll talk about what leading in an era of unrelenting change means and involves, covering the digital revolution and how it does and will continue to impact our lives and businesses, increasing opportunities and increasing failure risks, two sides of the same business transformation coin, the triple now model, providing context to show why one leader is not enough in our organizations. The digital revolution. Industry 4.0, the fourth industrial revolution, or the digital era, represents the coming together of the physical, the biological, and the technological for the first time in human history. The velocity and systems impact of this revolution make it distinct from the industrial movements of the past. Just consider one aspect of this digital movement, the speed of development and power of artificial intelligence, AI, with, for example, Claude 2, ChatGPT-4 from Microsoft, Bard from Google, and Ernie from Baidu in China. We can now look forward to almost limitless possibilities as the pace of digital innovation accelerates. However, we must know how to regulate it, utilize, and manage it, retaining a deeply human touch. That is the magic of the digital, to enable humans, not to replace or take away from them. Revolutions bring change, and each of the four main industrial revolutions, the 1784 water and steam mechanical revolution, the 1870 mass production and electrical energy revolution, the third revolution of 1969 with the introduction of IT and electronics, and today, the fourth revolution of cyber-physical systems, i.e., the digital age, has changed the world. As we look back, we can see that each caused widespread heavy casualties for businesses that did not respond to their changing environment. Corporations that are unable or unwilling to adapt to the new waves of innovation coming their way are marked for certain failure. We've witnessed a stream of well-known brands fading to obscurity when management teams failed to adapt. Gary Vaynerchuk said of Kodak and Toys R Us, "They did not innovate, and when you do not innovate, you die." More recently, high-profile legacy and new era businesses have suffered the same fate by not taking lessons from the past and making the same mistakes. JCPenney and Bed Bath & Beyond could have invested more in their digital platforms to offer gold standard out-of-store online offerings. This, coupled with a charm offensive to win over customers, could have paid dividends. Alas, there was too little too late. New breed digital platform businesses are not immune to these mistakes, and it is perhaps these that offer the biggest lessons of all. The following examples show that constant evolution, a razor-sharp competitive edge, customer understanding, and buy-in to the proposition are all now essential. Hipmunk, a travel aggregation platform since 2010, did not continue to innovate and was surpassed by existing and emerging platforms such as Expedia, Skyscanner, Trivago, and more. Atrium, a legal industry startup aiming to shake up a traditional industry. Its failure was driven by complexity and sunk costs, demonstrating how difficult it was to be a major disruptor in traditional industries with complex underlying systems and regulations to navigate. Quibi, perhaps one of the most notable digital era failures, despite a $1.75 billion investment fund, much excitement, and hitting a hot button, short and longer form video content and streaming for mobile devices. When considering what went wrong and just how much investment could have been squandered so quickly, the conclusion is simple. What could go wrong did go wrong. That points to a huge leadership failure on a human level, and is a warning shot that other digital businesses should take heed of. Today, leaders must adjust, realign, and build a new mentality and approach to digital business model transformation and human-centered leadership in their organizations. The challenge, or opportunity, can be far bigger than many, even experienced senior leaders can imagine or are capable of dealing with. They need help, particularly in this new, digitally driven, fast-paced business environment that we are all a part of. A call to action is needed to unleash the potential of distributed leadership, to allow the power of the many to flourish, and contribute beyond the expectations of their level of seniority or job description. As the capability gap between the most senior leaders and the rest of the organization narrows, particularly when we consider digital era knowledge, skill sets, and behaviors, we have the prospect of tapping into the combined resources of the many. Not just the few or the one at the top. This is the opportunity we must grasp to deal with the sometimes overwhelming transformational context we face. This chapter brings all this together and sets out the context in a new model, the triple now. This model is designed to help executive leaders, managers, and individual contributors understand the scope, scale, and speed of these strategic transformations and operational changes that they face, which require the careful involvement of all personnel. Navigating these changes effectively will be for the benefit of all customers, stakeholders, employees, executive boards, and the senior leadership. The Triple Now. Figure 1. The Triple Now diagram can be found in the PDF you have downloaded. The fast pace at which we live and work today is driving both incremental and radical change in business and is becoming the new normal. Some organizations are keeping up, but many are being left behind. It is no longer a question of when or whether it's a good idea to transform organizations in preparation for the future. It is now an urgent question of how to transform. In the current workplaces and beyond, we will experience dramatic shifts as we encounter a perfect storm of forces that will challenge our companies, leaders, managers, and teams on a worldwide scale. These three forces, the triple now, will serve to either propel or block the success of businesses in this transformational era. The triple now, the journey to digital relevance. Figure 2, the triple now digital relevance diagram, can be found in the PDF you have downloaded. The first of the three forces is digital relevance. A digital transformation is needed to harness the power of the digital revolution. To facilitate this change, a mentality shift is essential at the leadership level and throughout the organization. The most successful organizations are making strides in undergoing fundamental change, whereas others who are unwilling to change are already falling behind or failing. There is a lot to reflect upon for many legacy and new era businesses. We need to prioritize and understand what the future now landscape looks like. To do that, we must consider the various aspects of the current digital revolution that we need to spotlight and master across the business and at all levels. AI and robotics are pivotal and will soon be everywhere. In 2023, with the launch of the open AI systems like ChatGPT-4, many businesses were, for the first time, beginning to understand the potential of AI in the workplace. It is important, though, to consider the risks of not having a structured regulatory framework in place to act as a fail-safe where required. It is a fact that AI will be used by everyone and be in everything that we use, from a lifestyle as well as a business perspective. AI will become more intelligent and efficient because the technology that drives it is rapidly developing. For example, hyper-fast bandwidth technology, Web3, and 6G to 9G mobile networks. Furthermore, as blockchains, cryptocurrencies, and NFTs, non-fungible tokens, give power back to users in the form of ownership, we will be witness to a new game-changing digital combination that will drive innovation and a surge in new products, services, and solutions. This will unlock the power of digital transformation to the benefit of customers, companies, and employees. These technologies and others will inherently shift more and more of what we do to the cloud, rather than taking place in or on physical spaces or devices. That's why Microsoft transformed from a computing company to a cloud company, as did Amazon, moving away from digitally enabled retail. The Amazon cloud is one of the most used systems of its kind out there for large organizations, particularly for those changing their business model to be ready for the new digital era.